Welcome to Deep Thought. Practice looking at people without having preconceived notions. Practice looking at people. I'm going to tell you what, and this is coming from somebody who actually has videos on my Rom TV about reading women. And you can, with practice, you can definitely read someone. But this is a little bit different. And this is something I do practice, even though every time I see somebody, I will size them up. And that's normal. That's normal. I'll just say dysfunctional background. You had to learn how to read people and size them up very quickly. But practice looking at people without a preconceived notion. See, here's the thing. When we see people, even some people who don't consider themselves good at reading people, we make an assumption when we see them. Like, there's definitely racial assumptions when we see someone. It just is. It just is. Or there's assumptions when we see someone and they are consensusly attractive. Notice I said consensusly, because I always argue there's no such thing as objective. People try to say it, it's like, no, that's cultural bias. But there is consensus where many people might consider some person attractive. But there's always somebody you don't. But when we see a generally attractive person, what do we think? Oh, they're good. They call it a halo effect. Oh, they're a good person. Or we see somebody maybe wearing glasses. Oh, yeah, they're more intellectual. Think about it. We do it all the time. Or we see a man and he's walking around. Let's say he's a man. He's a brother, a black man. He got locks. He got tats all over the place. And we, what do we think? Oh, well, he's a thug, especially if he muscular. He's a thug and everything. But we don't know what his background is. He could be highly intelligent. I remember one time years ago when I saw that I was at this flea market selling some stuff. And this guy came up to me and he knew somebody I knew too. And this dude had the locks, wife beater. It turned out he was selling mortgages. He was a mortgage agent. You just never know. Yeah, because we all, and that includes myself, we have an initial thing. But practice this. Open your third eye. This will help open your third eye. Don't have any notions. Don't assume anything, no matter how they look. And then just be open for what they show you. Open for how they behave and everything. I'll give you an example why I thought of it. I was had to rent out this as I record this, still like finally getting the finishing touches on moving. But I had some furniture coming in, a new dining room table set, so I had to get rid of the old one. So I went to a local Home Depot. Now, it was two people helping me. One was a new guy, but it was also a woman there. And she was a white woman with locks. Had that hippie look and everything. And, of course, you get that, oh, yeah, she a hippie look. I just said it. But then in interacting with her, I was like, wow, she got a sexual ass aura. And she wasn't wearing anything tight or anything, but it was just how she was behaving, smiling and everything. I was like, oh, okay, this is what I'm getting. See, here's the thing. Sometimes when we have a preconceived notion, we put them in a box already. We already put them in a box. We say they're going to act this way. They're going to behave this way. Like, let me use that, got that black man. He got the locks. He got all the tats and stuff. Okay, say as soon as he opened his mouth, he's speaking perfect English. He's not sounding like a thug. He's sounding like somebody who's never even been around other black people. Because the speech intonation is just different. I remember this woman, and I ain't going to give too much about it, but I'll just be real. I hate to say it, but physically just unappealing. I'll say physically unappealing. And I'm going to give you a second why I don't want to use the word ugly. I'll just say she wouldn't have a face that would be considered physically, a face or body build that would be considered consensuously, sexually, or physically appealing. But had to ask her about a friend of hers, somebody she knew. And she responded, but she had the most beautiful voice. Like, it was literally the voice of an angel. She had that type of voice. If she were to sing, she could put some people into a trance. Her voice was angelic. And, my point is, as best as possible, it's a weird situation. I ain't going to say don't read, because your life, you might be in the wrong place, and you're going to have to make a quick decision, right or wrong, just for your own safety. But at the same time, when you can, practice just looking at them, and practice just taking whatever comes, whatever they present. Because the thing is, you don't know. You don't know. You've had people, I mentioned about people from dysfunctional backgrounds. You have people who look like the lowest of the low, but they have the kindest hearts. Like some of the kindest people I've met were people, they tatted up and everything. Like some of the best like just the best people. Meanwhile, you had some people who look clean cut. Like, I give you an example. It was a job I was on, retail job. We had two different people, two different guys. One, he was one of the best people you ever want to meet, In fact, there was a Christmas, he dressed up as a Santa Claus, his suit. So he rolled up his sleeve. So he was like, we called him Bad Santa because... he was walking around playing with all the kids, really, really good with kids and everything. Had his tat showing, but he's really good with kids. All right, very good human being. But then we had this other guy, and that other guy is probably alt-right, but he was the most clean-cut looking person. But he had a dangerous element to him. But you couldn't tell by just looking at him. But when you talk with them and interact with them, you say, and this guy has some danger to him. And he wasn't the kindest person. He was ironically a very good worker, but in terms of kindness, no, he was far from it. Just overall kindness. He did his work. He was superficially polite, but he had a dangerous aura to him. And that's the thing, though. Because you just never know. I would say this. The balance is, you still need to read people, but be open for what you can see. Don't make an assumption like this person going to be bad or person good. Like, note how they look, but then wait for their actions. All right? So this is very key. And it's tough. Look, even for me, I'm saying this, it's tough. It is tough. But there's a power there if you are open. If you just see them and then don't say anything. Don't say, oh, yeah, that's a bum, that's this or that. Don't try to consciously not comment in your mind. They don't have a thought. Just be open for what they are due. And there'll be plenty of times. I want y'all to think about that. Think about the times in your life you met somebody, they look one way, but they give you another thing. Shoot, I can use myself for an example. I lost track of how many people don't take me for someone intellectual when they see me. Or say, oh, yeah, you just some blue collar. I've had people on these videos say, oh, he look like some trash man. He look like this, he blue collar. He don't look like he's educated and stuff. I remember I was on a job. I was working at one of the gyms. And I ain't really tell everybody what I did outside of the gym. And this guy, and I mentioned something. He was some guy. He just kind of pissed me off. I said, "Shoot, man, he's a boss around attorneys." He was like, "You, no way." And I was just like, "You don't know my background." So that's the thing. That is the thing. And it takes practice. Right? Look, it takes practice for me. But try to, because you can learn a lot. And on a deeper level, and I'm going to have to probably do another video on that maybe in a few weeks. As soon as it comes up, I'd go with the flow on here. On a deeper level, it allows you to truly read somebody. I want y'all to just stir on that for now, though, all right? And I'll get back with y'all later. Peace and blessings.